The U.S. Embassy's move to Jerusalem added fuel to a fire that was always burning. Protests along the Israel-Gaza border intensified. The response was brutal, leading to the deaths of at least 60 Palestinians. Today, there was a lull in the protests, but it's a quiet that might not last for too long. WION's Daniele Pagani reports.
Palestinians are on a general strike to protest against the killing of 60 people, shot dead by Israeli snipers during the Great Return March. In Ramallah, the de facto administrative capital of the West Bank, the roads were a deserted look.
In order to mourn what is worldwide known as the NAKBA, the catastrophe, the moment when Palestinians were kicked out of their land from the advance of the Israeli army, all Palestinian political parties and organizations and the people of the Palestinian territories declared a day of strike, and the strike became huge after in Gaza nearly 60 people protesting were killed by Israeli defense forces. I am currently in Ramallah. As you can see on the street behind me, all shops are closed. There is literally no commercial activity and there is no open business taking place today. Palestinians are protesting in several focal points, not only of the city of Ramallah, but all around the Palestinian territories. They are protesting also because the United States decided unilaterally to shift the embassy from Tel Aviv to the wholly contested city of Jerusalem, which also Palestinians consider to be their capital city by right.
Protesters can be seen gathering near checkpoints and Israeli military premises. Palestinians, irrespective of their age, are taking part in the protest. They are not afraid of the heavily armed Israeli soldiers.
لأنه أنا بدافع عن إشي حقي.
Because we're defending our right. This is our right.
إيش يعني أموت بس تشهد؟ امبارح استشهد 61 بني آدم في غزة.
What is it like to die? Yesterday only 60 people died in Gaza. They were killed in cold blood.
More than 100 people died during the Great March of Return demonstration, and Palestinians are feeling left out by the world in their struggle.
ولا دولة تحركت.
Not even one country has moved a finger.
Why?
ليش?
أنا هلا بدي أسألك.
And this is my question to you. Why?
Palestinians have been burning tires to protect themselves, and they use slings and stones to target Israeli soldiers walking down the Beit El Hill. Security forces have been responding with extremely powerful tear gas, rubber bullets and live ammunitions. Right before the Israeli charge, protesters start retreating and we reach a temporarily safe spot.
Israeli defense forces are now charging the demonstrators and the tear gas is reaching the demonstrators. Is very hard to breathe.
But it is not the end. Palestinians have been taken to the street to make their voice heard for decades. They calmly regroup and go back to the first line. Ambulances are ready to treat those injured. And it is not only the Gaza massacre that is bringing Palestinians on the street. To add fuel to the fire, the United States unilaterally decided to recognize Jerusalem as the capital city of Israel. But this is not what Palestinians think.
And we say to everyone that Jerusalem is the capital of Palestine, the eternal capital of Palestine. And Jerusalem is Arab and will always remain Arab.
The situation is getting tense with each passing hour. All the checkpoints between Palestinian territories and Israel resemble conflict zones, and the situation risks escalating in the coming days and reach a point of no return.
This is just the beginning of the general strike called by Palestinian authorities here in the city of Ramallah. Israeli forces are currently charging the Palestinians protesting. Daniele Pagani from Ramallah for WION.
In fact, Daniele Pagani is joining me now from Amman in Jordan. He's WION's West Asia Bureau Chief. Daniele, good evening. You're back in Jordan, but you saw the violence first up in front of you while you were there along the border. The violence saw a pause today. We've seen the protests, take a bit of a dip in terms of intensity. But I suppose that situation is an uneasy quiet. Things aren't going to remain that silent for very long.
Good evening to you, Aisha, and good evening to all our viewers. No better words than uneasy quiet to define what is happening today. Protesters and Palestinians are reassessing the damage. These have been hard days for those protesting, both in Gaza and also in other parts of the Palestinian territories. Bear in mind that tomorrow it's Friday, and day after tomorrow is Friday. Ramzan is approaching, and we will expect on the first Friday after the beginning of Ramzan and after what happened in Gaza, where 60 people were killed, we expect violence to come back again and to perhaps be another very ugly day. There is a lot of anger, a lot of rage throughout the Palestinian territories. Palestinians think also that relocating the United States Embassy on the very day when they mourn what they call the NAKBA, the catastrophe, the day they were kicked out from their territories by Israeli forces. They felt that this was to add salt to injury, and they felt it was extremely disrespectful. Beside feeling they have been completely left out when it comes to this decision of recognizing Jerusalem as the capital city of Israel.